Hello, everybody. I'm nervous, like I've never been here before. But good morning to everybody. Good to
That's
see you all.
awesome. That's awesome. So, Allegra, tell us what motivated you to get started in real estate? Well, tell us about your
Um,
background first. Tell us about your background. Tell us about you.
okay, well, before real estate, I've always worked in some kind of people-focused service industry. My first job was as a waitress, so that's obviously a great crash course in dealing with the public. And then I was also a paralegal at a law firm, helping people get the workers' compensation help that they needed. And I've also done volunteer ministry work my whole life. So that just includes talking to lots and lots of people and learning how to deal with people.
Awesome. Awesome. So, what motivated you to actually get started in real estate?
I've always had a part time work schedule because I'm involved in just different projects. And in 2018 and 2019, my husband and I did like extensive disaster relief work where we were off from our regular work for a good period of time. And so after that, I was just ready to have more control over my time. And so much of that can be spent with little reward if you're not careful and intentional. So real estate for me seemed like a great opportunity to provide for my family and still exercise a whole lot more freedom than a lot of other types of work. And I've always loved houses and design, always been about HGTV since I was a kid, but I hadn't really considered, you know, going into real estate as an agent until my friend, my other mom, my mentor, strongly suggested it. So I'm very grateful for her extensive help and her pushes.
Okay. Okay. So, we'll forget about her, but tell us then. So, what's your actual why? Is it more about the time management part?
Yeah, more so just about having control over my schedule.
Okay. Okay. So where do you practice real estate?
I am in the Raleigh, North Carolina area, so that's mainly Raleigh and then a few counties surrounding it.
Okay. So what's your price range in your area? What's your median?
I say right now for where I am, probably in the 350s.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. 350. So what have you done to achieve your goals in bringing in buyers and sellers?
Well, I'm still working on that. I'm working on right now putting systems in place to make my processes more seamless. Honestly, that part has been hard for me as transitioning into running my own business.
Mm-hmm.
So I still have a lot of ground to cover. But I did do like a little canvassing of some of the neighborhoods that I live near, just door knocking. And people were actually very receptive. I was surprised with the pandemic and everything, but everybody was super. And then I'm like a salesman, but everybody was very nice. I didn't have anybody get upset at all. So,
Oh, good. Oh, good. So, so you've door knocked,
mhm.
and I know that you've done open houses.
I have, I have.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't as successful as I hoped it would be. There weren't a whole lot of people coming out. I've done open houses. I've done some mailers as well. Um, but yeah, the door knocking so far has been like the most because I actually did a parade of like a special home builders hosting as well. And someone that I door knocked was at that um, the hosting house and recognized me even through the mask.
Oh,
She's like, I
really?
remember you. You're at my house. And I
Awesome.
mean, we were like 30 minutes away from where she lives. So,
Uh-huh.
that was pretty awesome.
So was this somebody that you actually that answered the door, or they just see
Hmm.
you?
Yeah, no, someone I actually talked with at their house.
Can I tell them another little secret that you do as far as your door knocking?
Sure.
Allegra also goes and walks in the neighborhoods that she farms, which I think was an awesome thing because then that way they are accustomed to seeing her face there. She's not this strange person that only comes to try to knock on their door to get some business. They see her, which I thought was just like Like, wow, I ain't think about that. So that's another way to get yourself known in the area. So what was your first win that made you confident that you were actually doing the right thing, that real estate was the business for you?
It was actually when I got my first listing that was all by myself, and I had everything together and ready to go. Wise, but I checked with my mentors about a few things I wasn't sure about, and they confirmed that everything was right. And so for me, that makes me feel really great because I care about getting paid, but I care more about being professional and just getting it right and really helping my clients get the best that they can. So to have that confirmation that I am a professional and I'm helping you, that just makes me feel like, okay, I really got this.
Okay. Now, just to kind of elaborate a little bit on that comment that you made, you said this is the first one that you did by yourself. So you worked other deals with your mentor, or what? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had worked some other deals with my mentor or gotten like something easy from like my family that they were already like kind of in the process. So this was like my first like legit, just like this is my listing, this house and all, I went through all the steps. So it was just really exciting to finally do that.
So then did you take down notes as you were working with the other processes so that you could make sure when you do it on your own that you had everything in order, or how did you handle that?
Well, a lot of that came from being here at the groups and all the speakers that we've had. I take notes and then I refer right back to those notes. And like for all my paperwork, I was like, okay, I got all this together. I got all this. So yeah, that was really where a lot of that came from because I didn't have a lot of that experience. Mm-hmm. So having this group is how you get that experience, not the cheap way, but the easy way, the quick way from other people.
Yeah. When you say this group, are you talking about just the Jumpstart? What do you mean when you say that?
No, I'm talking about the Agent First group in particular.
Because there's a lot.
This is part of another part that I was gonna mention, but having this group of mentors and colleagues, so not just people above you, people at your level that you can bounce stuff off of. You can ask quick questions to the people who have more experience, and then accountability partners. Okay, you're doing this, and that just to see somebody else that inspires me because I know we started to, especially the people I started with. And just to see how they're taking off, it gives me more confidence because I know their story. I know what they deal with. And so having a group full of people like that is really helpful, especially during the pandemic. And then working in a cloud-based brokerage, it just makes it a lot easier not to feel lonely and not to want to give up.
Okay, cool. It is actually very unique. If you think about it, 90% of the agents they fail within the first 2 years, but our group is growing as Agent First group. They're growing because they're implementing, and that makes a big difference. If you don't implement and if you don't be consistent, you won't do anything for you. So tell me about when you're on work day, because you talked about you have a ministry that you do deal with disaster relief as well. So what's a typical day for you when you're in work mode, when you're actually working? What is that day like for you?
I usually start with some exercise because that just helps me feel productive, like right at the beginning. And then usually it's not super organized, but it's a lot of running around, driving over here to look at this and do that, check on this, lots of phone calls and paperwork at my desk. And then I get my husband involved too. So that maybe he works outside of the home. So after work, we're running around doing whatever with signs and all that kind of stuff. Usually he's my sign man.
Your sign man. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. I wish if I'd have known you were going to say that, I would have put the picture up I took of Allegra putting her first sign and her husband was helping her. And I took a picture of them and him being her sign man. Never thought about that, but that's cool. So do you use time blocking as far as different things? And you initially said you do the exercise. So that's probably at a a specific time. So do you use time blocking? Do you use a calendar?
Not, like I said, not yet. I don't have everything nailed down, but what I have been using that's been helping me is an app for the Pomodoro method, where I work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. And I guess that's a form of time blocking, but I want to have everything written out like as schedule, but doing that helps me stay focused on my task.
Okay.
And just knock it out.
So with all of the things that you have going on, what do you do for fun? What makes you a happy person?
Well, I love anything music related. So concerts, most of those I have at home or in my car right now, and dancing. And I love trying new restaurants. Me and my husband love to eat. And so we've been cooking a lot actually too, but we try new restaurants. And then I was born in Los Angeles, California, hence the Rams reference. So my favorite place of all in the world is a beautiful, sandy, sunny beach.
Oh.
So as much as I can, I get down to the beach.
You get down to the
And
beach.
we're only about 2 hours away where I live, North Carolina. So.
Okay. So when you're doing the fun things, whether you're going to a new restaurant or if you're going to a beach or something, do you do like take pictures or videos and post them in relation to your real estate at all?
Not really. A lot of those times, me and my husband, we like to just kind of keep those for ourselves. So not as much as maybe I would like sometimes, but depending on what I'm doing, I have like kind of a folder of stuff. Of pictures, but not like at those places.
Okay. So if as far as your work that you're now, and you're not so don't take this question the wrong way when I say it. Would you tell your younger self at the start of your career? What advice would you give yourself that would help you to either stay on task or to continue going, or what advice would you give yourself?
Yeah. Well, I got my license last year in March in 2021, and it could have been a lot sooner because I was taking my classes like the fall before on my own. I think, and I finished pretty quickly because I was able to do it online. But I was really afraid of the assumed lack of knowledge that I had. To me, I just was like, I don't have enough knowledge, and I held myself back because of overthinking and procrastination. And I had a lot going on as well. So all that, but it didn't help that I was just holding myself back emotionally. So what I would do is tell myself is to just go ahead and run with it and go forward, like immediately, more quickly. Because like I said, I think I would be a lot farther along if I had done it that way.
Okay. So just jump right in. So for all the agents here, just jump right in. Just
don't be afraid because you think you don't know.
Okay.
Keep going and you'll learn. You'll run across the situation and you'll learn.
So writing it down, it helps, so that keeps you in mind of what you need to do, right? Yeah. And then you said your time blocking, whatever that program that you said that you use, and just jump right in as far as ourselves. And we have to tell ourselves that all the time. A lot of times people think that I just need to tell myself that once, but that's a constant reminder to ourselves, really helps us, to move forward. So that being said, with your younger self, what has been your biggest challenge in your real estate business?
I think my biggest challenge is just organizing my time properly, just to figure out, prioritize wise, like what do I really need to focus on right now? Because it's like a lot of little things pop up. So I'm still like, okay, what is the big thing overall for my business today or this week? And so that is I'm still kind of getting that down.
Okay. Well, you only been doing this a year. So, and it's a lot of things that come at you at the same time. So getting all that together and straight is a goal that all of us should have. And then it can be overcome. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
So what lessons have you learned along the way? Because challenges teach us something. So what are some of the lessons that you've learned?
Well, I've definitely learned that people talk a big game, but nothing is solid until you have the paperwork. So I've been trying to also pass that on to my clients. They give me this person said they want to get the house. I'm like, that's nice. That's so great. We'll see. But I've also learned that most things in life are not overly complicated. It just takes a little bit of time and work to get an understanding of it, and then you can figure it out. So don't hold yourself back. Just take an action, take a step, and you're going to see a result.
Very good. See, and that just kind of brings me to my next question is about some lessons, all of that and how it can help us to guide us, and don't use those lessons or challenges as a stopping, or a hurdle that you can't get over, but it's something that you can move forward with. So if you were to give someone advice about a career in real estate, what would it be? What would you tell me?
My biggest tip would be develop a love and a habit of learning, because real estate is an awesome career if you like excitement. It ebbs and flows with all the changes of life that we have. And so you need to make sure you know what's happening right now so you can give the best advice and the best service. And then having that knowledge, especially if you're a newer agent, or you're part-time before, now you're going full-time, is going to give you so much confidence. And that's, I think, what you really need in real estate and in sales. I look at it more so, my big part of my business is just getting someone to want to work with me. That's sales, in kind of a broad sense. So having the knowledge and the confidence makes you just as good as these veteran real estate agents you see with these things, if not better, because you're hungrier and you're newer, and so you may be more up to date than some of the other agents.
That is so true. That is so true, because I have been in the business and I'm like 30 years doing this, but I gotta catch up with these guys. So you guys have a foot ahead or a mile ahead of us agents, our whole old heads that have been doing it a long time. And so it brings me back to something that you said, be knowledgeable about right now. When you say being knowledgeable about right now, are you talking about prices, or when you say that, what are you saying there? What do you mean?
Yeah, knowing specifically focusing on your market, knowing the prices, knowing what your inventory is looking like, knowing if you can, what builders are doing what. This builder is only doing this over here right now, but this builder will still let you choose your options because of the pandemic. That's some of the things I've run into, knowing what the rates are doing for mortgages. Because a lot of people, I think Brigitte and I have talked about this, but a lot of people don't take real estate seriously, which is just so crazy to me, because it's like you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you just kind of like, I'm just going to wing it by myself for a while, and then, I'm going to just kind of step out here. And it's like, no, this is a huge investment in your life, maybe one of the biggest one that you'll make. So you need to be informed. And I want to make sure people know, especially right now, things are just so, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is crazy, especially, you started right at the beginning of the pandemic. So this is all as far as, how to do real estate with all of the craziness and the volatility of the market and the super sellers market that we have. I bet that could be overwhelming at sometimes.
And then in our area as well, with all the business development, Apple and Amazon, all that stuff has also made it, because that was going to happen anyway, despite the pandemic. And just, over the past few years, we've seen the prices just change over here anyway. So it's been fun. I enjoy it. I'd rather learn this way than some slow way. This is a great time to me to learn, to be in it. You get to really just like, okay, let's just hit it, get all your training right in the beginning, or a lot of it,
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. So I'm sure you probably get overwhelmed or sad, not sad. I don't think sad is a good way. Overwhelmed, or like, where's my business going? Or, what I need some business or something going on. So what do you do to quiet those voices to help yourself?
I keep in mind that, you know, it doesn't make sense to give up. You have to persist to see results, and that's just true for any business at all. And like I said, this is the beginning of my business for me. So why would one thing I think of is, why would I give this up and then go put my efforts into someone else's business so easily after like not even a year,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, how would you just give up on yourself like that? So that's like a little motivational thing. But like a practical thing I do is take a step, look up, okay, let me educate myself. Like I said, keep learning, look at the market. What's my next step? What's my video idea? What content strategy am I working on? If anything, when I feel sad, I'll just put out a quick Instagram thing. And, at least I feel like, okay, I'm moving forward. I'm not stagnant.
Very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, and all of us get to that point where it's like, where's my next sale coming from? Because if you don't have a sale, you're kind of out of business, but you're not out of business. That's what people tell you. What you need to do is use that time to grow your business.
Right.
So that in that way, down the road, you'll have something going on. So do you actually use any kind of systems? We talked a little bit about that. Do you have like a spreadsheet, or use a CRM or anything like for buyers or sellers or transactions?
I've started using the Notion app, as we went over that in one of our agent first group meetings. So that's been awesome, because the CRM I was using before was just a little too much for me. It took me weeks to even try to begin to learn it. And I was like, that's not working. And then I use a good old fashioned planner, my calendar back there.
Okay.
That's a lot of the stuff I use.
Mm-hmm. So starting off simple helps to keep everything kind of on track.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't get stuck trying to learn. There's so much you have to learn in the beginning. You want to try to keep it to what's going to make you money in the beginning. Focus on the big systems that are really important, not focusing on this computer program.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Very good. So do you actually do a lot of branding and marketing as well, as far as systems or any kind of, what do you do for that?
I haven't done a lot with that yet. I don't have a whole lot of resources for that yet, but I have just kind of used Canva to make like a few little templates, and I just have been using those. So that's been a great resource, because you can do a lot on that for free.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I make most of my things that I use for branding.
Okay. Okay. So tell us a little bit about your 2022 goals. What can we look forward to? Because if you say them out loud, you write them down and you do your vision board or whatever, and you say them out loud, and then other people hear you. It helps us with our accountability. So what can we expect from Allegra in 2022?
Well, I think that for me right now is just working on can't think of the word, my attraction of clients process. Working on those processes and just getting like a steady stream of clients for this year, so that I can make like a regular kind of 9 to 5 type income this year. Income goal. Last year I did it all right. I wasn't in the red, so I was happy. And with the kind of work I was doing, I made a huge chunk of my salary just with a few sales last year. So for me, that was a big win. So now I'm trying to bring it up more. I was working part-time, trying to bring it up now to like more of a full-time salary. So that's my main goal for 2022. It's just increasing my revenue.
So it's not focusing on buyers or focusing on sellers or commercial?
I'm not specific right now.
Okay.
Yeah, because especially being new, I still want to learn both sides. So I don't necessarily want to just focus on one, because I think having experience in both sides just really makes you a lot more well-rounded for the transactions that you deal with.
Okay. And you have to learn as far as cheering you on? What helps? What's some of, well, we talked about that. What's going to reach your goals? But is there anything else that we're leaving out that you want to just let us know that makes you successful?
No, I think, like I said, having a good group that you can depend on, and not necessarily even a group, but having people you can depend on for advice, not doing it alone. That's just a key reminder, because you can't figure this stuff out. I don't think you'd be a professional if you go out here and try to do this without someone that you're going to ask advice from. And that's not always your managing broker. That's not for me. For me, it's this group and my mentors.